think since I've made a video. This one's probably going to be pretty short and sweet, I would think. Trying to get kids to nap and all, and I'll explain it all. I thought maybe I would color a little bit today. I forgot I had this cat coloring book my husband had bought me forever ago, and I just recently found it, and also my ginormous bag of colored pencils. I used to have them all in a tote, and then my kids were using them. My kids are 2 and 3, and the tote got ruined. It was just plastic anyway, so I just put it all in a Ziploc bag and called it a day. I believe there's 100 in here, maybe more. Maybe it was 150, I can't remember. But, anyways, I guess we'll just get started. So, recently, well, what's happened in the last 2 months, I guess I should say. Sorry if you don't like the colored pencil noises. There's not really much I can do to avoid it, unfortunately. So within the last couple of months, we're in November, so August, September, October. So I last made a video in September, so I'll just start with, oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. We'll just start with October. Obviously there was Halloween, and not a lot happened in October. Well, some stuff happened in October, but not towards the end. My son's preschool had a trunk or treat type thing, but it was inside. It was a table or treat, if you will. And I volunteered to do a table there. There were about 20 of us, which is all the tables they had, so it was a full house, which was awesome. Some of the other parents I knew, some I didn't, some I got to know while we were there. And we're all in a group chat, the parent board meeting. The parent board, we're all in a group chat together. And so I had asked, hey, I have this medium-sized speaker, and it has like fun, like flashing party lights. Do you guys play music? Because this is like an annual thing that they've done for a while. And I was like, do you guys usually play music at this thing? And they're like, no, we haven't before, but if you want to bring it, that'd be awesome. So I went ahead and brought our speaker. It's about 2.5 feet tall, I would say. I told them a little speaker, so they thought it was just like one of those tabletop ones, but it's like an actual legitimate speaker. So we just played some kid-friendly Halloween music, you know, the Monster Mash, the Addams Family, Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ting-tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang. That one was my son's favorite. And they started at one part of the gym, and they just went around in a big square, and I was like 5th from last. So by the time my son got to me, his little trick-or-treat pail was almost completely full. We did an allergy-free one, so there were no nuts or peanuts of any kind. And some people got really creative. I just bought like sweet candy, like suckers, multi-flavored Smarties, ring pops, Sour Patch Kids, stuff like that. Some people brought like string cheese, other people brought brownies, some people had like little toys and fake tattoos and stickers. There was one table, they brought like a whole bunch of small gourds, which I thought was, sorry, I got a lot of band-aids on my fingers right now, which I thought was super cool. And then I had also made some homemade Rice Krispie treats, and I took those, and everybody got a Rice Krispie treat, all the parents that were helping. That was our breakfast. And this was early in the morning, it was during school. We'd drop our kids off at 9:30, and then we set up, and the trunk or treat was from 11 to noon. And then each class was also having a Halloween party that day. So for my son's classroom, I volunteered to bring the Halloween tablecloths, and then also make the sweet treat. So I made graveyard pudding. I just got these clear plastic little like 10-ounce cups, and I crushed up some Oreos, and I made some chocolate pudding, and I mixed it together to, you know, for like the dirt and the mud. And then on the top, I put in some Milano cookies, and in black icing I wrote RIP, and then I got some gummy worms and put those on the top. I thought they were super cute. It was super easy to make. I was very happy with it. His teacher said it was, you know, the kids loved it. That's what I was aiming for. I wanted it to be fun. These kids are only 3 and 4, but they're about at that age where they're going to start remembering stuff soon, if they're not already, so I wanted to make it fun. And of course, the kids got to dress up. They only go to school 3 days a week. So this was the Thursday, it was the day before Halloween. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. My son went as Marshall from Paw Patrol, and then my youngest was there with me, and he was a pumpkin this year. He's a little redhead, so I thought it was just fitting. That super cute little boy. And it was also really pretty chilly leading up to Halloween. It finally got cold outside. And so obviously my older son's costume was a like head to toe kind of thing. And then my youngest son, his costume was just like a zip up onesie, but it was fleece, so it was plenty warm. And it had a little hood for the pumpkin stem, which I thought was adorable. But it was a ton of fun. They made out like bandits, completely sugared out by the time we got home. So that was lovely. So we did that, and then that evening we went to our local mall, and they had like a little trick-or-treat thing. So we did that too. They didn't make out as well there, but that's perfectly fine. I also had a ton of candy left over. We were told to buy for about 75 kids, and I bought enough candy so that each kid could have 8 pieces. But by the time they got to me, those trick-or-treat pails were so full I could only fit 3 to 4. So that was interesting. So we still have a ton left over. So yeah, we did that, and then on actual Halloween, we went real trick-or-treating. And that was a lot of fun. I didn't think really that, not a lot of people trick-or-treat, like we used to back in the day. So I wasn't sure how the kids were gonna fare, but there were actually a lot of people that were handing out candy, so that was awesome. And by the time we got home, both of the kids' trick-or-treat pails were full. And this was our first year trick-or-treating. Like I said, my kids are only just now 2 and 3. So, my 2-year-old just sat on my husband's shoulders the whole time, and he was very content up there. But our 3-year-old, he was, going up to the doors saying, "Trick or treat, happy Halloween, thank you." He did a really good job with all of that, and we had a ton of fun. And they got a lot of full-size candy bars too, which was fun. They had to pay the mom and dad tax, of course, but it's not that, they still got plenty. So that was a lot of fun. It was chilly though, my goodness. And we were probably outside for an hour and a half walking around. But it was pretty chilly. And for whatever reason, I decided to wear a dress. So that was, not my brightest moment, but I was freaking cold. And then we came home and we handed out candy for a while. And what did I make for dinner that night? I can't remember what I made for dinner, but it was warm and delicious. And then we watched part of Hotel Transylvania. The kids got a bath, they went to bed, and we were tuckered out too. And then it was the next morning, we woke up. I got out of bed, and I had a pretty big nosebleed. I was like, oh my god, I'm pretty prone to nosebleeds, but also because we'd been outside in that cold air, our basement is extremely dry. And the blood vessels on the right side of my nostril, my skin just cracks so easily in that nostril. I had a nosebleed for 2 weeks when I was in high school. So, my husband freaked out. He's like never had a nosebleed in his entire life. He's like, oh my god, do we need to go to the hospital? Are you fine? I'm like, baby, it's a nosebleed. And it's not like I wouldn't even he would call it a gusher. I would not call it a gusher. It lasted like 10 minutes maybe, and I got it under control. And then the next day I got like another small one, and then a few days later I got like an extremely small one, and none since then. I just put like triple antibiotic in my nose, and I used some saline spray. I don't still put triple antibiotic on my nose. You're not supposed to really put that kind of stuff in your nose, unless you have to, because like you could inhale it and it could get in your lungs, and that couldn't, that would kind of suck. But just to heal the wall of my nose. But saline spray, of course, is perfectly safe. So I don't do it every night. But if I feel like it's going to be a particularly dry night, I always check the weather and I'll spritz myself before I go to bed and then again in the morning. And that I've been fine since then. My husband freaks out over anything, I swear to God. But that was fine. My husband ended up getting like a weird stomach ache a few days. It was that next day too. I don't know what it was. We ate all the same stuff. The only thing that he ate that we didn't was that he brought back some. My husband's a truck driver, and he brought back some canned chili that he ate for one meal. And I'm sure that's what did him in. That dude was like gray for half the day. Poor guy. But we got him fixed up, and he felt good enough to go back to work the next day, and he's been fine ever since. So it was a little funny, not for him, but it made me chuckle. So that happened. Unfortunately, I had a relative pass away back at my hometown, which is 7 hours away, and I was not able to attend the funeral. They were having it the day after Halloween on that Saturday, and had it been at any other kind of time, I would have been able to do it, but because it's dark by about 5 o'clock, I can't see in the dark to drive. I have really, really bad astigmatism. And, like glasses only help so much, and it's a 7-hour drive. And, driving through Kansas, you're gonna hit a deer. So, I wasn't able to do it. I would have had to have left on Halloween, like pretty much as soon as my husband got home. And then I still would have had to have driven in the dark for a couple of hours, and then I would have missed our kid's first time going like real trick-or-treating. I wasn't particularly close with that relative, not that that makes it okay, but I sent my condolences, I said a prayer, I sent some flowers. So that was, it was sad, but I let my family know that I was thinking about him and all that fun stuff, and plenty of other people showed up. It's not like nobody went to her funeral. We have a lot of family that lives back that way. But had it been on that Sunday, I probably could have gone, but it was just the timing of it all really was kind of funky. But so there was that, and then let's see what else. Trying to remember. It's like this mid-November. We're heading into the third week of November now, and what else has been new? I took my youngest son to a little Halloween party. Sorry, I keep hitting my phone. A little Halloween party. It's this thing called Toddler Town, and we go to it sometimes when my oldest son is in school. And it's just for little toddlers to play. There's a couple of kids there that, this is going to sound awful, I just don't like them because they're not very nice, and their parents are the kind that don't tell them, hey, don't push, hey, don't shove, hey, don't take that out of somebody's hands. And I'm not going somewhere, so I have to parent kids that aren't mine, and I also don't want my youngest son to get stuff taken from him. It's not very nice. We've also been sick. So we haven't gone to anything recently, and we actually now have another cold. Their teacher was, my oldest son's teacher was out of class on Thursday, and I was like, oh, I bet 10 to 1 it's because she called in sick. And then sure enough, one of his classmates, his birthday was yesterday, his 4th birthday, so we went out to their family's house to celebrate, and his mother was telling us, oh yeah, he has a bit of a stuffy nose and a cough. And 2 of the other moms from our kids' class showed up too, and they were saying the same thing. And I was like, man, sure enough, both my kids woke up with a runny nose, and now they kind of have a cough. And, it's no fever or anything, but this is the 3rd month in a row we're getting a cold, kids and everything else. So this one doesn't seem to be as bad. I thought maybe I could bypass it, but my nose has started to get kind of stuffy and runny. And that's all this one is so far, is just really stuffy and runny, which sucks enough as it is, and I feel really bad for my poor babies. I can't hardly sleep with a stuffy nose. They manage better than I do. But yeah, they just have stuffy and really runny noses. But I got the nasal aspirator, the booger sucker, we call it, and then I have the saline spray. We're being very serious about hand washing and teeth brushing, and we're taking our baths every single night. I'm changing their sheets every day. They have humidifiers during nap time and bedtime, so I just want them to get over this as quickly as humanly possible, because it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. God, that's a tongue twister. So yeah, we've had all that going on. I do have another relative who is not doing super well. Just to tell you a little bit, my aunt was my other relative that had passed recently. That kind of came out of left field. I didn't know. Our other family did, but I didn't know that she wasn't doing great. My cousin, though, who is not doing so great now. He has stage 4 colon cancer. It's in his colon, his liver, his kidneys, and his stomach. And they've done several operations to try to get it out, and it just keeps coming back. It's no longer responding to chemotherapy. His doctors actually have just told him, there's nothing we can do. So he is now just kind of getting comfortable. My cousin is much older than I am. He's about 20 years older than me. He's in his mid-40s. And my uncle, his father, is a double amputee because of type 2 diabetes. He had to have a quadruple bypass a year or two ago. My uncle didn't take care of himself. You can't really, my cousin wasn't a smoker or anything, so it's not like he got cancer because of bad choices, but I do feel for them. So, there's going to be a lot going on probably here in a while, other funerals and stuff that I'm hoping I can make it to. But of course, we'll just kind of have to play all that one by ear. You never know. It's not up to me to decide when it's his time to go. And again, I'm not very close with him. But that's he's still my cousin, and if I can make it to his funeral, I would really, really like to. It's just I live so far away from my family because he's further away. Actually, he lives about an hour from where I grew up. So that's, and if I don't have to take my kids, I don't want to because it is such a long drive, and, there's only so many places we can stay. Like, the way it would have to work out is we typically stay with my dad and my stepmom because they have enough space and they have a crib for my youngest son. My mom doesn't have any extra beds in her house or any cribs or anything. So that's kind of tough, especially because I would probably want to leave the kids with my mom during the funeral, because who wants two loud toddlers running around during time and place kind of thing. But if it was during nap time, what are we gonna do sort of thing. So it'd be easier for them to stay home with my husband on a weekend. But there's only, oh, good gravy, I'm sorry if that was so loud. I just had some stuff on my desk fall over. Oh Lord. Sorry, my chair is extremely creaky. I had a photo album just tip over. Anyways, yeah, you can only plan for so much stuff. So again, we'll just have to play it all by ear, I'll keep them in my thoughts and my prayers, and that's about all I can do on this end for right now. Let's see, what else? Yeah, like I said, we're all about to be fighting a cold again. We have an ongoing freaking battle. One of our dogs got fleas. Somehow there have been no animals in our house. And we haven't taken him to anybody else's house or anything. I've never had an animal get fleas before. But both of our dogs have fleas, and so I am washing absolutely everything, and I shampooed our carpets, and I'm steaming the floors, doing everything I can to get rid of them. I've given them several baths, the topical solution, the flea collars. So we're fighting that battle, which is kind of annoying. My mother-in-law is coming to visit next week. My husband and I were supposed to run a 5K, but it's like $50 per person, and because me and the kids have all been so sick, I have had absolutely no preparation for it, even though we have a treadmill now. But I was not about to get on that treadmill when I could only mouth breathe. So we're not doing that. So we're just gonna have like a little Thanksgiving with her. We were supposed to go to his family's, which is about 4 hours away, for Thanksgiving. But again, we ran into the issue of we don't really have a lot of places to stay. Airbnbs are very expensive, and also our van that we have is not doing so great right now, and our second vehicle is a car, and we cannot fit our 2 dogs in the car. Our van had a third row seating, which was perfect because we would put all of our luggage in the trunk. My husband and I would be in the front row, the kids were in the second row, the dogs were in the third row, and it worked out really well. But it has got this humongous oil leak, so we are not even going to chance that. And again, we just have like a small car for our second vehicle, so we're not able to make it back for Thanksgiving this year, which is fine because I don't really like his family anyways. Well, let me correct myself. I like his family. I don't like his mom very much, and she doesn't like me. And of course, she's coming to stay with us for a couple of days, which sucks, but whatever. Anyways, I don't really know what we're gonna do besides hang out at the house, which is fine, you know. If she starts pissing me off in my own house, I could just tell her to leave. But, anyways, so there's that. And he just wanted to do like a small Thanksgiving with her, which is fine. We already have a turkey, and everything else is really pretty easy to make. Let's see, what else is going on? I can't really think of anything else of note. I've been very busy with my son's school. I keep volunteering for stuff after I tell myself, oh, I'm done volunteering. Some of these other parents need to step up and do it. And they're having their little Thanksgiving feast next week, so I went ahead and volunteered to pick up all sorts of different stuff. I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do this anymore, but I can't stop myself, you know. The kids deserve to have nice parties at school and do stuff like that. He doesn't go to a very big school. His school isn't a church, it's a private school, and it was the cheapest one, if you can freaking believe that. But it's, you know, non-profit or anything, so all the parties are put together by the parents and the teachers. It might be like that in public schools too. I don't know. I haven't been in a freaking elementary school in a long time. So, yeah, we have just a lot of stuff going on right now. We're planning a whole bunch of different fundraisers for the schools and everything else. So, I've just been a little bit busy with that. Cleaning the house a lot because of the dogs, and we've also all been sick. So I've had, you know, stuff going on to keep me busy, but nothing like interesting. What else? I'm like gnawing at the bars of my enclosure to start decorating for Christmas. I want to wait until after Thanksgiving, but I already see people in town with Christmas stuff up outside and Christmas trees in their windows. I'm like, you know what, if they're doing it, I could do it too. But I'm doing everything I can to just wait. My husband keeps telling me to go for it, but I just don't want to jump the gun, you know. But I might end up doing that, you know, we'll see. I think that's really pretty much it. I don't have a super eventful life. My oldest nephew just turned 18. I'm 26, by the way. My brother is 41. 41? 40. How old am I? Okay, I'm 26, and he's 15 years old, so he's 41. So his oldest son, he has a boy and a girl. So he'd be my nephew. He was born when I was 8. He just turned 18 yesterday. So, you know, I sent him a card, and of course he still lives back where in my hometown, and he's gonna graduate in May, and it's just kind of crazy that my oldest nephew is 18 already. That's insane. And so my husband and I are trying to decide what to get him for a graduation present in May. All sorts of stuff to think about, you know. This is my little picture thus far. sure my son didn't poop his pants. And I'm gonna try to put him back down for a nap because Mama kind of wants a nap too. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for